is about to change. Amy thought she had finally found peace after years of heartbreak, but one unexpected visitor at the ranch will turn her entire world upside down. A familiar truck pulls up the dusty road, and when the door opens, the past she buried deep comes walking back. This isn't just another season of healing and hope. This is the storm before the calm. Secrets that were never meant to surface are about to tear through Hudson like wildfire. And when the truth comes out, not everyone will be standing on the same side. Heartland Season 19 begins with a silence that feels heavy, the kind of silence that comes before something life-changing. Amy wakes up early, the sun barely touching the fields, and for a moment everything feels normal. But deep down, she senses something is off. The horses are restless, the wind carries an unfamiliar chill, and even Jack seems quieter than usual. It's been months since Ty's memories were brought up again, but lately strange things have been happening around the ranch. Letters left on the porch, hoofprints leading nowhere, and a photo from the past that mysteriously appears in Amy's tack room. Lou tries to keep the peace, juggling her duties as mayor and sister, but her patience is wearing thin. The town of Hudson has its own troubles. A new developer has arrived, planning to buy out nearby lands and build a massive equestrian resort. The townsfolk are divided. Some see it as an opportunity, others as a threat to everything Heartland stands for. Amy, as always, stands with the land and the horses. But when the developer's identity is revealed, Amy's heart nearly stops. It's someone she once trusted. Meanwhile, Georgie returns home after months of silence. But this isn't the same fearless girl who left chasing her Olympic dream. Something happened. Something she won't talk about. She avoids eye contact, hides her bruised emotions behind forced smiles, and spends long nights in the barn with Phoenix. Jack, the old man who's seen every storm pass through, knows something's wrong, but he respects her space, at least for now. Then comes the twist no one saw coming. A truck pulls up one late evening. Amy looks out the window, her breath catching in her throat. The headlights cut through the dark, and for a moment, she thinks her mind is playing tricks on her. The door opens, and out steps a man she thought she'd never see again. Ty's best friend, Caleb. But he isn't alone. Standing beside him is a young girl, maybe 10 or 11, clutching a small leather journal. And when Amy sees what's written on the cover, her hands go cold. Property of Ty Borden. Caleb explains that he found the journal among a box of old ranch equipment after a recent wildfire cleanup. But there's something in his eyes, guilt maybe or fear, that tells Amy there's more to the story. That night, as she flips through the pages, she realizes these aren't just Ty's old notes. They're pieces of a secret he never shared with anyone. Plans, names, locations, and one name circled over and over again. Aiden. Amy can't sleep. Every word she reads pulls her deeper into questions she's not ready to face. Who is Aiden? Why did Ty keep it hidden? And why now, after all these years, is his past resurfacing? As dawn breaks, she looks out over Heartland, knowing one thing for sure: her life and the ranch she loves are about to face the biggest challenge yet. The first signs of change are already showing. Horses are spooked, fences broken, and whispers around town say someone's been trespassing at night. Jack loads his rifle, not because he's afraid, but because he knows trouble is coming. Lou warns Amy to stay out of it, to focus on her daughter and her work. But Amy can't let it go. The moment she found that journal, she felt Ty's presence again. Not as a memory, but as a call for truth. As the episode builds, we see tension spread through every corner of Heartland. Old wounds are reopening, new threats are forming, and alliances are about to be tested. The season promises more than just family drama. It's about uncovering the past, facing what was left unfinished, and finding strength in places once thought lost. Because this time, Heartland isn't just fighting to survive, it's fighting to stay together. The next morning, the ranch feels tense. Like everyone can sense something waiting just beyond the horizon. Amy stands by the paddock, staring at Spartan, her loyal companion through every heartbreak and every new beginning. But even Spartan seems uneasy, pawing the ground and snorting as if he senses something Amy can't see. She clutches Ty's old journal in her hands, unable to shake the feeling that he's somehow trying to tell her something through those pages. Each line feels like a breadcrumb leading her toward a truth she isn't ready to face. Lou shows up, coffee in hand, her face drawn with worry. "You didn't sleep again, did you?" she asks softly. Amy doesn't answer. She's been up all night reading the journal, trying to piece together the names and locations scribbled inside. The one that stands out most, Aiden Ridge. It's not a person, but a place somewhere north of Hudson. A property Ty visited secretly months before his death, a place Amy never knew existed. Meanwhile, Tim has his own storm brewing. He's been suspicious of the new developer since the day the proposal came to town council. Something about the deal doesn't add up. The land being bought, the money moving too fast, and the investor hiding behind a corporate name. Tim's instincts kick in. He's seen enough shady deals to know when someone's pulling strings. When he digs deeper, what he discovers shakes him. The company funding the project traces back to a man named Aiden McCoy, a name that matches the one from Ty's journal. At that same time, Georgie's struggling to adjust. She spends most of her time in the barn, away from the others, whispering to Phoenix, as if the horse is the only one who understands her pain. Jack finds her one evening, quietly grooming her horse, and asks what's wrong. But Georgie only says one thing before walking away. Some things are better left buried. That one line tells Jack everything he needs to know. Whatever she's hiding, it's big, and it's connected to what's happening now. Later that night, Amy finally gives in to her curiosity and drives toward Aiden Ridge. The road is empty, winding through dark woods and broken fences. When she reaches the old property, she sees the remnants of what looks like an abandoned training facility, rusted gates, empty stables, and a burned-down barn. But something catches her eye. A single horse alive standing in the middle of the field. A white mare with a scar down her flank. She approaches slowly, her heart racing. The horse's tag reads, "Owned by Ty Borden." Amy's breath catches. How could this horse still be alive out here, forgotten? She reaches for the reins, but before she can touch them, a shadow moves in the distance. Someone's watching her. She turns, calling out, but there's no answer. Just the sound of crunching leaves and a whisper of movement. Then headlights flash from behind and a truck speeds away into the dark. She tries to follow, but it's gone before she can even start the engine. When she returns home, shaken, she finds Jack waiting by the barn. He can tell something's happened. Amy shows him the horse tag, her voice trembling. Jack's face hardens. He recognizes the brand. It's the same one used years ago by a man Ty once worked for during his vet training. A man who disappeared without a trace after a federal investigation into illegal animal experiments. That man's name? Aiden McCoy. Now everything starts to connect. Ty's journal, the land deal, the mysterious horse, and the name that keeps reappearing. Amy realizes this isn't just about her past. It's about Ty's unfinished fight. He must have discovered something years ago that someone didn't want exposed. And now that someone is back. As the night deepens, thunder rolls over Heartland. The power flickers and Amy stands by the window holding Ty's journal close. Somewhere in the distance, a door slams. Someone's on the property. Spartan neighs loudly, kicking his stall. Amy rushes outside, but the yard is empty, except for one thing. A single note pinned to the barn door. It reads, "Stop digging or you'll lose everything." The wind howls through the ranch as Amy stares at the message. Fear mixes with determination. She's no longer the girl who needed saving. She's ready to fight. Ty's truth deserves to be told, no matter what it costs. Because Heartland has faced loss before, but this time the danger isn't emotional. It's real. Morning breaks over Heartland, but the peace is an illusion. The note Amy found last night burns in her mind like a warning she can't ignore. She doesn't tell Lou or Lisa about it. Not yet. She knows they'll only tell her to back off, to let it go. But how can she? Someone went through the trouble of sneaking onto her ranch in the middle of the night just to leave a threat. That means whatever Ty discovered before he died is still dangerous and still unfinished. Amy drives into Hudson, heading straight for the town archives. She remembers the name, Aiden McCoy. and needs to know everything about him. The clerk pulls out a dusty folder from the records room. Inside are old newspaper clippings and land deeds. Aidan McCoy was once a promising equine researcher, a man known for experimenting with rehabilitation techniques on injured horses. But then his research funding was pulled after allegations of illegal testing surfaced. The articles mention a whistleblower who exposed him, but the name of that whistleblower is blacked out. Amy's heart skips. She flips through the papers and finds something written faintly in pencil, as if added later, Borden. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, Tim confronts Lou. He's furious after learning that the town council approved part of the land sale near Heartland without reviewing all the investors. Lou defends herself, saying the deal seemed legitimate and that the town needs the money. But when Tim mentions Aidan McCoy's name, she goes pale. That can't be right, she whispers. That project was backed by Clearwater Holdings. Tim nods grimly. Exactly. And McCoy owns Clearwater. Georgie overhears them from the stairs. The name McCoy makes her freeze. Later, she meets Amy in the barn and quietly asks, "Did you find anything?" Amy studies her face, realizing Georgie knows more than she's saying. When she presses her, Georgie finally breaks. "When I was in Europe, I met someone. He said he used to know Ty. He told me Ty was working on something dangerous, something that could destroy people's careers. His name was Aidan." Amy's pulse quickens. That confirms it. Ty wasn't just researching, he was investigating. And Georgie accidentally crossed paths with the same man he was trying to expose. That night, Tim and Amy drive to the edge of Hudson to visit what used to be McCoy's research site. The gate is locked and the sign faded, but as they climb over, they find more than just old barns. In one shed, dusty computers and files still sit untouched. Amy finds a folder labeled Project RANCH. Inside are medical reports, photos of horses, and one shocking image. Ty standing beside McCoy, shaking his hand. On the back, written in Ty's handwriting, he's lying. Before Amy can process it, they hear footsteps. Flashlights sweep across the floor. They duck behind crates as two men enter, speaking in low voices. One of them says, "She's getting too close." The girl has his journal. Amy's chest tightens. They're talking about her. Tim motions for her to stay silent. When the men leave, Amy and Tim grab what files they can and escape into the woods. Back at Heartland, Jack waits anxiously for them. When Amy shows him the files, his face hardens. "You need to stop this, Amy," he says sternly. "Whoever these people are, they're dangerous." But Amy shakes her head. Ty was trying to protect something. Maybe even someone. If I stop now, everything he fought for dies with him. Jack sighs, torn between fear and pride. He knows there's no stopping her. Not when her heart's set on the truth. Later that night, Amy sits alone on the porch, reading one last page from Ty's journal. It's written like a letter. "If anything happens to me, tell Amy to look at the horse." Her breath catches. The white mare she found? The one with the scar? That's the key. Ty must have left something connected to her. She rushes to the barn, searching the horse's stall, and finds a small flash drive hidden beneath the floorboard. She plugs it into her laptop, and what she sees changes everything. Video logs, research data, and a recording of Ty's voice. His words send chills down her spine. "If you're seeing this, it means I failed to stop McCoy." He's not just experimenting on horses. He's using them for testing illegal drugs tied to corporate sponsors. They'll come after anyone who gets close. The video ends abruptly with a loud crash. Amy's tears fall silently as she realizes the depth of what Ty was involved in. It wasn't an accident that took him from her. It was a cover-up. The ranch that once symbolized healing is now standing on the edge of a dark secret. And whoever left that note knows she's getting closer to exposing it. Thunder rumbles outside as Amy shuts the laptop. She looks out into the storm, whispering to herself, "I'm not afraid of you." But deep down, she knows the fight for Heartland's soul has just begun. The storm outside Heartland refuses to fade. By dawn, the clouds still hang heavy over the valley, painting the land in a shade of cold gray. Amy stands by the barn, her eyes fixed on the white mare. Ty's horse, the one who unknowingly carried his final secret. The flash drive's truth still echoes in her mind. Illegal experiments, corporate cover-ups, and Ty caught right in the middle of it. The pain of knowing he died trying to protect something bigger than himself cuts deep. But with that pain comes a burning resolve. She won't let his story disappear. Amy tells Lou everything about the journal, the threats, the flash drive. At first, Lou doesn't believe her. Amy, you're grieving. You're seeing patterns that aren't really there. But when Amy shows her the files, Lou's expression changes from disbelief to horror. Oh my God, this is real. She realizes the resort project isn't just about profit. It's part of McCoy's plan to rebuild his operation under a new name. Right in Hudson, Lou's already approved the permits and construction is days away from starting. If Amy doesn't act now, McCoy will have the perfect cover to restart his illegal work, hidden behind community support and business charm. Meanwhile, Tim can't sit still. He drives out to confront an old contact, a retired vet who once worked under McCoy. The man, nervous and trembling, admits that McCoy's team used horses as live subjects to test performance drugs meant for international racing circuits. When Ty discovered it, he tried to blow the whistle. But before he could make the report official, the accident happened. The vet lowers his voice and says one last thing before leaving. McCoy always cleans up his messes. If you dig too deep, you'll end up like Ty back at the ranch. Amy decides to take the evidence to the authorities. But before she can leave, she notices the barn doors open, and the white mare is gone. Panic floods her. She calls out for Jack, and together they follow the muddy tracks leading toward the edge of the property. The trail ends abruptly near the creek, where they find tire marks and broken fences. Someone took her. Jack clenches his jaw, fury flashing in his eyes. They're sending a message, he says. They want you scared. But Amy's fear turns into anger. Then they picked the wrong woman. That evening, Lou holds an emergency meeting at the town hall, trying to freeze McCoy's development deal. McCoy himself shows up, charming, confident, with that practiced smile that makes people forget the danger behind it. When Amy arrives, he greets her like an old friend. You must be Amy Fleming. I've heard a lot about you, Amy stares him down. And I know everything about you. The crowd murmurs, sensing tension. She pulls out Ty's files and the flash drive. This man used our land, our horses, to test illegal substances. My husband tried to stop him, and he died because of it. McCoy laughs, pretending disbelief. Those are wild accusations. You're grieving. I understand your pain. He turns to the audience. But this is slander. Lou tries to defend Amy, but McCoy's lawyers quickly step in, warning her to stop or face legal consequences. Amy's hand shakes, but her voice doesn't falter. I'm not afraid of your threats. Ty's gone, but I'm still here, and I'm not backing down. After the meeting, things escalate fast. Someone slashes the ranch's truck tires, the security cameras go offline, and one of the horses is injured after a gate mysteriously malfunctions. The message is clear. Back off, or the next target won't be an animal. Jack increases patrols around the ranch, keeping his rifle close, while Tim starts gathering allies in town. People who've lost horses to mysterious accidents in the past. Slowly, they realize McCoy's network stretches further than they thought. That night, Amy finds a USB stick taped to her door. She hesitates but plugs it into her laptop. The screen flickers to life, showing security footage from Heartland's own cameras. The video shows a figure entering the barn late at night, just hours before the mare disappeared. When the person steps into the light, Amy's blood runs cold. It's Georgie. She rushes to find her, demanding answers. Georgie's eyes fill with tears. I didn't steal the horse. I was trying to protect her. McCoy's men found me in Europe. They threatened to hurt Phoenix if I didn't help them. They wanted Ty's research, Amy. They've been following us for months. Amy realizes Georgie has been living in fear, manipulated into silence. But before she can say more, the lights go out. The sound of footsteps echoes outside. Heavy, deliberate. Jack shouts for everyone to stay inside. Amy grabs Georgie's hand and hides behind the stable door. A car engine roars in the distance, then fades away. When the power finally comes back, they find a single item left on the porch: Ty's wedding ring, wrapped in a note that says, "Last warning." Amy falls to her knees, clutching the ring, tears streaming down her face. But this time, the tears aren't just grief, they're fuel. She's done being threatened. McCoy can hide behind lawyers and money, but she has something stronger: the truth. And she'll drag it into the light, no matter how dark the fight becomes. As the wind howls through the empty ranch, Jack looks at Amy and says quietly, "This isn't just about the past anymore, is it?" Amy shakes her head, her voice firm. "No, Grandpa. It's about justice." The final showdown begins with silence, the kind that comes before everything breaks loose. Heartland is tense, every corner filled with a sense of danger that feels too close to breathe. Amy hasn't slept in 2 nights. She keeps staring at Ty's ring on her desk, turning it over in her hands like a promise. She knows what she has to do now: the threats, the fear, the missing horse. It all ends tonight.